Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our returning guest, J. Michael Miller, the J. Michael Miller. We're here to break down Puff Puff Parent and everything in between. What you been up to, man? I know we were just talking backstage, but that part's going to be edited out, so...
Working on comics. I went to Gem State Comic Con a couple of weeks ago for my first table. Did a local event here.
How'd that go?
Pretty good. I was surprised actually that the small local event, I sold more in one day than both days of Comic Con. That was still fine.
So, I mean, local, are we talking like you knew a majority of the people walking in, or was it or do you live in a big city?
Like, I live in the Boise area, but a few years ago we moved to Cuna, which is like a really small town that's 5 or 10 minutes from Boise. And so the town only has like a few hundred or thousand in the limits of the city. And so it's pretty small, like a local community. There's only 2 high schools in this city. The Boise has way more, but it was
2
just
high schools. That's
place.
You know, I grew up in a place called Bloomville. We had an elementary, and then you had to get bused to like a high school. I feel like such a boomer right now. Like I had to walk to the bus stop in the snow and the rain. It wasn't 3 feet of snow. Occasionally, maybe like 4 to 5 inches, but it still was a lot of walking, and I did not like it. But one thing I did like doing when what's up?
I even fell in the snow once.
You fell in the snow, and that snow will get you every time. I don't understand what it is about these old timers and having such hellacious weather. But one thing I do remember as a kid is Puff Puff passing. We have an interesting story about Puff Puff Parent. What's this about?
Puff Puff Parent is about a former father and Dare essay winner that he doesn't have a problem with medical marijuana, but he gets prescribed it and has to rethink everything. And he kind of used to think, that's not for me, but it's fine for somebody. Now that it's him, it's a different story, and he's got to deal with that.
So where did the inspiration for this come from?
It came back in 2019. Before I moved to comics, I was focusing on like short films and TV, and I wanted to do a sitcom called Puff Puff Parent. That was basically the same thing. And I wrote a script. I submitted it to like a pitch festival, got some good feedback, then moved to comics and dropped it completely.
So you have children. Are they in Dare?
No, they are not. My oldest is in 3rd grade, so maybe soon.
It's funny because you know, I was checking out interiors and everything, and the Dare, like my daughter just graduated Dare. So I still have it fresh in my head, and it just felt like the perfect balance for everything. Just seeing how weed is treated, you know, how weed is viewed, how there's a lot of misconception about it. There's a lot of, you know, painting it bad early on, and you know, I remember when I went to Dare, I remember the first time I was like, I remember the first time I was offered a joint, all right? And I remember because of Dare, I was so nervous. I was like, no, whoa, there's rat poisoning. There's rat poisoning in that. Like, Dare taught me that's gonna like hurt me. I'm not gonna do that. And it's like, I don't think I've ever in how many years found like, you know, rat poisoning in weed or anything like that.
I also told somebody no in 9th grade when I got offered my first joint too because of Dare.
Yeah, you know, that no didn't last long, maybe like 5 minutes. I gave in to peer pressure quite quickly, but
I didn't until I was 25 and in a different state and tried for the first time an edible.
An edible. So that is interesting because, you know, when you smoke, you can get a little bit of a body buzz, but I feel edibles are the ones that really hit you with that. Like, what was your first time like?
My first time was actually horrible because I took it way in the evening. I was waiting for food. I was at somebody else's house with cats. I'm not allergic to cats themselves, but outside cats get into the stuff that I'm allergic to. So that I like passed out, and then I woke up with red eyes and allergies, and somebody's waiting to take me to dinner, and I'm like, I promise, it's just allergies.
Oh my God, I remember. So I have so many crazy stories, especially with Mama Geekly. Mama Geekly used to catch me all the time. I remember the one time, like, she comes upstairs and I'm just hanging out my window to the middle of December. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" We got Joey D schedule, medical cannabis on fat. I think even recreational. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to turn this into like a whole like, you know, thing, but what you do is what you do. Weed doesn't, I feel like, hurt anyone as long as you're not like driving and putting other people at risk, you know, or getting consumed by it, I guess, like doing it like nonstop and like, you know, bed rotting and like, you know, not able to like live a productive life. And that's to everybody's own, like, you know, description and what they view as a productive life. But weed's like, it's always been viewed as the gateway drug. But let's be real, trauma is the gateway drug, I feel, right? Like trauma, alcoholism, I feel. Alcohol as, if I'm not, I read it somewhere, same chemical compound as like heroin, like the addiction part of it, and breaking away from it can leave you medically devastated, or even worse, you can die from literally detoxing from alcohol. I've never heard of anyone dying from detoxing weed.
I have not either, but it's definitely true that trauma is actually the gateway drug, because if you're sad enough, people are going to find whatever they need to get past it. But
oh, Joey's like, yo, I'm consumed by MJ all day. I met people who don't do anything though. Yeah, even if you don't do anything, I don't know. As long as you're like taking care of yourself, I guess that's all that matters. All right. We have it's Axo. Trauma is the gateway drug. Absolutely. You know, I've been doing a lot of reading a lot of research, and they always want to paint a picture of like what causes the start to addiction and everything. And I truly believe it's like, you know, having that wound and you're trying to fill that wound with something and
find relief, and then you want to find it again.
And sometimes finding relief is all about just a little puff, you know? And so tell us a little bit more about this comic. We have some gorgeous interiors, some gorgeous covers. Who's the creative team involved?
I'm the writer. Max Pinelli is the interior artist, main cover artist, and B cover variant artist. Letters is Andrew Lukin. And then on campaign management, we have E Collective, Joey Galvez and Benjamin W. Morse, that did campaign graphics, campaign management, helping out on social media, a lot of stuff. We've got Lane Lloyd doing a variant cover, and Marcus Jimenez doing a variant cover too. And the logo is by Chris Benamati from Band of Arts.
So we have a Dare essay winner turn into now a weed user. That has to be a very complex feeling, you know, a really hard like thing to work through, I would feel. What inspired you to create this character in particular? I know you said this kind of started off as a different media format, but for our protagonist, like, where did his inspiration come from?
Well, for the protagonist, it's kind of a combination of things that I've seen and experienced, and then also other family members and friends that have gone through similar things. It really comes from, I was in Dare, and I told you that I told somebody no to it before. I really have struggled to like always be myself sometimes. Like, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I want to be good. Mm-hmm. And that's like how we're trained when we're growing up. And it depends like how much you absorb that, how much it is. That's why in the log line in the campaign, it says peccatophobic, which is like an irrational fear of committing a sin or a crime. So like you're paranoid even if weed is legal that you're being bad and you're going to get called on the cops.
Oh my God. This is just flooding back early childhood memories. 13 years old, pop can, and little sewing needle, looking around the corner. It's crazy because weed used to be very illegal back in the day. You would get in big trouble for it, and now it's like not, you know, it's like a misdemeanor. It's crazy kind of how we looked at it and how it's been viewed over the years, and how it slowly has been used for medicinal use and recreational purposes. Now, with our main character battling this, and also being a dad and balancing that, what type of hijinks can we expect to see him get into?
Well, he's peccatophobic, so it doesn't just apply to weed. So he's kind of anxious and always wants to make sure he's the best person he can be, even if that makes him be worse because he's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole point of him getting the medical marijuana is so he can kind of slow down, so he can see that and understand that and figure some things out in his life. And so he's already a good dad, but it makes him like the best dad ever. It's like Danny Tanner that gets a medical marijuana prescription.
I love that, and that's a thing in itself. And I think every dad goes through that, where you always feel like you're not doing enough. You could always be doing more. I battle that almost every single day. Like you want to set the best example you can, and being a parent in itself is hard, but like battling what he's battling and then being, a dad, that sounds impossible almost. What did your script writing look like between you and the artist? Did you have a lot of things you wanted to make sure was done, or did you kind of let him have the wheel a little bit?
I always try to do a little bit of back and forth. I try to paint the scene that I want, but then kind of like Pokemon, I have to leave some areas blank so he can fill it in, or they can fill it in for how they. So it's a doctor's office that they're in, but put whatever you want on the walls.
Got Joey saying Band of Bards all day. Absolutely. Shout out to Band of Bards, as well as this link we just dropped in chat. This is the Kickstarter link. Be sure to check it out if you're able to back. We would love to see that. But simply putting that link wherever you can helps just as much. Word of mouth costs absolutely nothing, and I'm sure you're going to have a friend or a family member who's going to love this comic. We have Joey saying, hey, I get stoned and I immediately become a better person. I will say it's a really nice stress release. It's a really nice
everybody's
yeah. Everybody, but a nice coffee, a nice puff, always perfect remedy to the day. So how many pages are we looking at for this book?
This is the budding narrative edition, and so it's going to have the first 13 story pages of a 36-page future book. It's going to have a lot of behind the scenes, a one-page backup story with art by Lane Lloyd and letters by Reed Hinckley Barnes called O-Town Road, just a little fun comic that still takes place in the Puff Puff parent world.
I love that. Is that a little Nas X song?
Well, Old Town, it's O-Town Road because it's about music in the comic.
Okay. I like when you said that, I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. So is this going to be an ongoing series, or are you looking at just doing a one shot with that 36 page? I mean, where are we going to see this universe go?
I'd like to do a series of one shots. I want you to be able to pick it up at any time and not have to worry about missing out on before.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like on TV show, that history matters, but you can still just watch an episode of Abbott Elementary and laugh. So I'd like to do more than one shot, but for now it's one volume, and then we'll go from there. I've got tons of stuff planned. Like I said, it was going to be a TV show, so I had like 13 episodes for the first season and 3 more seasons planned. So I've got ideas.
I think it's time to head over to the campaign and do a little puff puff passing ourselves. Do you remember the anti-weed commercials from back in the day? The omelet girl, like, don't smoke weed or you'll become her. And it's like this girl just becoming like a balloon on the couch.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that. I feel like I have so much pressure inside of me. If I could just deflate a little bit, maybe I'd be able to de-stress a little bit. So right off the bat, I love the budding narrative edition, the name, just budding. That's perfect. And then the goal, 1,420, like everything is like right on the nose with this. It's gorgeous. Who is this dare officer though? This guy looks fearsome.
He's a dare officer that's there to tell Henry that he needs to resist drugs and violence.
And then right there is the creative team, of course, guys. We'll give a little bit of a focus on them. Man, awesome team here. Very strong. I love all the variants as well. This cover right here is gorgeous. So tell us a little bit about the cover.
So this is the main cover by Max Pinelli. And so it's got Henry in the center with his eyes cut off, and he's holding his daughter Harper, and he's next to his wife Harley, and he's holding a bag from Dave's Dink Dispensary.
I love that. Is that like a play off a dispensary that's close to you?
No, it's just alliteration.
I love that. That's good, though. That's good. And then this cover is just gorgeous. We have, of course, the dab pens, the edibles, the brownie edibles, the spliff right there. Is this a bong? Like, man, this is gorgeous. This needs to be. You should make this a poster.
Yeah, there's a print. It's also a lighter.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
It looks really cool, actually.
It's very trippy. I love the mouth. This thing is eating the brownie, just gorgeous, dude. Did you kind of just tell Max to do his thing, or did you?
It was the first cover that was done, and it was just going to be a variant before Max took over the interior art too. And so I told him that I was thinking something without the main characters, but something that kind of just included a bunch of references to marijuana. And so he had fun with it.
Yeah, this thing is gorgeous. Holy crap. And then this variant by the one and the only Lane Lloyd. I love this. It feels like a play off Dr. Dre's The Chronic almost.
Yeah, it's an homage to that album cover, and then the trade dress was done by Joey Galvez with help from Benjamin W. Morrison. The whole team really nailed it and made the whole thing come together.
Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I want to get a Dare shirt again. It's as a kid, like I remember you graduated in like what, 5th, 6th grade, you felt cool wearing it, and then in 7th grade when you start smoking weed, you're like, I'm not gonna wear the Dare shirt anymore. And then like you wear it just because like it's ironic when you're like 30, you're like, I'm in Dare. We got it's Axel. Weed makes me sick, but I saw Jay's preview and it had me dying laughing. Yes, this looks like such a fun comic. This cover right here is just absolutely stunning too.
Marcus nailed it. He came to me and pitched that, and it was fantastic. There's no denying how good it was.
I love like how the arm is like melting too. It's very cool. So let's take that first hit for free and check out some preview pages. This of course is 18 years ago. So this is set in 2020. That's before the pandemic, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's also pre-pandemic world.
Weird. Isn't that crazy? It's weird to think about that. Oh my goodness. The classic egg cracking it. This is your brain on drugs. I love how this dude has like a mohawk too. He looks like so intimidating.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like an alpha male type officer.
And then of course we have the little Sonic nod in here. I noticed that. I see you, J. Michael Miller. But I loved
it too. I didn't
right
even...
here, like this. Like I don't know if this is like a filter on over top of the art, but like this is so gorgeous. Like the way the hair is just textured.
It is. I was really blown away with that first panel specifically because of the filter or however effect that he used. The Sonic reference. He's got that, classic cool S on the whiteboard.
Oh my god. I seen something where it's like there's another step and it's like a couple more lines and it makes it look 3D. Like even it, like I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, what the hell? This is awesome. I seen another awesome nod. I don't know if it's in the we'll scroll down if it's in there. I wanted to point it out. But right here, like marijuana, the devil's lettuce, it'll kill you. Like it's just crazy to think there was so much propaganda like against it in the beginning like that.
Yeah.
And then I love this panel too, and he's like in violence and just the face, like it was great.
When violence.
What's up?
Throw in the violence too. What resist that?
And then of course we have so what is his diagnosis exactly? Like what does he need this weed for?
He has a lot of things. He's got anxiety, depression, he's got problems sleeping, and It's not as diagnosed yet. If we get to tell more stories in the next volume, he's got PTSD, but like not for more or anything.
Mm-hmm. One thing I really like too is, you know, we see like the traditional panels, like with like the flashback, it feels a little bit more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, maybe like retro-y. Like right here, it's like we have a little bit like the panel, like the background like bleeds into the, like the quarter splash page. So I like the way Max did this page layout. It's like really cool.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so we do have it like right here. Is this a nod to your first comic?
So I've got the dinosaur in the bottom. That's a nod to my comic. And then Dog of War is a reference to a comic that Max drew.
Okay, I see. I seen that, and I was wondering if that was maybe just like a nod to maybe God of War, and like you guys were playing around. But that's cool that it's actually you guys were able to include your first work into this.
There's going to be more references too.
Yeah, these interiors are good. Max is just absolutely killing it. So let's go ahead. Let's check out these rewards, guys. If you're watching, check it out with us. Pull it up. If you're able to back, we would love to see it. That is the best way to celebrate 420. Spark that J.
Wake and back.
Yeah, wake and back. I love that. You should make that a sticker or something. Wake and back and support this comic. And if you can't put this on Twitter and Facebook, word of mouth costs you absolutely nothing to do. So $1 for the indie digital bundle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Like most Kickstarter campaigns for comics, there's an indie digital bundle that's going to have a set of comics from different independent creators in the community.
What titles are we looking at?
We're looking at Decay #1 and Wishful Thinking and Hallowed North and some others too.
Okay. So we have the digital copy coming in $5. You can get an early bird special at $8. So how long is that early bird running for?
For the first 2 days.
So you got just 48 hours to make that happen, guys. We got the $8 digital deluxe coming hot off the press at $8. Comics and Cosmos digital catch up at $9. So how many books are in that bundle?
You're going to get Kid Cretaceous #1, The Healer's Blade #1 prologue, and then Puff Puff Parent #1 budding narrative edition, and then also some short digital comics like Moving Day, Overloaded.
Let's go. Look at you putting out the work too. I'm so happy to see you coming out with a larger catalog. It almost feels like every couple of months you're putting out a new title, Jay. It's awesome.
I'm trying. This is the biggest year yet.
We have that standard cover coming in at $10. We have the standard cover B coming in at $12, and then C at $12 as well. So I think awesome prices on those two variants, just $2 more. And just for $5 more, you can get that awesome cover from Marcus for $15. We have the Comics and Cosmo physical catch up at $20, so that'll get you the 3 books physically, and then $22. Pick any 2 covers. And there's a lot of, I mean, they're all gorgeous. So I don't know. I don't know which one I would choose, honestly. These are all like hot covers. I love it. And then a hollow foil, Jay. You're just like, man, I love it. 25. This cover looks like it's crazy too.
Yeah.
Like the swirls right there. Yeah, that is cool. And then signed and remarked at $20, $44 for the hollow catch-up. So 3 different holographic covers. You know, what is it about holographic stuff? You know, I remember being
they're just
shook
like,
to my core. Pokemon, you know, on the bus, holographic cards. I could not get enough of them.
they're just really shiny.
Oops, hold on. There we go. All right, and then we have all covers at $45, a stash box at $60. This is cool, dude. So
Yeah.
that has a grinder too.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. That is so cool, dude. How'd you end up getting a grinder? I think you're the first comic interview I've ever done where they had a grinder.
I just thought it would be really cool to have some like accessories and add-ons that really reflected what the campaign is trying to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So added a grinder and a lighter to the campaign.
When did they do this? I thought the rewards you had to click on the other tab. Did they put the scroll back on the side?
Yeah, they put the scroll back on the side.
No crap. Dude, I literally have been interviewing almost every day, and like that's the first time I've noticed that. Like, did it just happen today?
I'm not sure.
That's crazy. So we have the big box. Pick any two covers, $111. A lighter, some stickers extra. Is this another sticker right here by the grinder too?
Let me look. Yeah, that's a sticker.
That's so cool, man. I love that you have a lighter as well. Man, this is so cool. What's this right here behind the grinder too? Is that like a
art print, and then there's custom.
Oh, it's a print. It's a print. I gotcha. No, that box is so cool. Man, Jay, you have some really cool merchandise in this. $150. Be in the book. So are they looking at being like a student or like a person in the crowd? What type of role do you think you see them having?
There's only a few slots open, but they're open to either be an employee at the dispensary or a customer at the dispensary.
Get the Cosmo collection or Cosmic collection. Get the comics and Cosmos and catalog for $160. And then, do you have add-ons?
We do. The graphics needed to be finished a little bit, but they are listed with images on the reward section.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's scroll over there. Wait a minute.
If you click
there we go. There we go.
Oh, made it complicated.
Kickstarter just hating. Let's check out some of these add-ons. Is right here? Yeah, optional add-on. So you get a hemp bookmark, the art print at $5, writer's remark $5. You can get that Healer's Blade prologue for $5, Kid Cretaceous for $5, an additional copy of cover A for $10. That lighter for $10. I mean, dude, this merch is great. I am digging this. You have a Dare shirt.
Do
you dare to read or create comics? This is so cool, dude. Holy crap, $28. That is awesome. And then a grinder, custom herb grinder at $35. I remember every time I had to go into a head shop. You remember that? Anytime you went into the head shop, you always had to be like, I want to get a water pipe. I need a water tobacco pipe, not for marijuana, not for weed. Like the second you said anything about that, you got kicked out because they thought you were a cop or something, dude. It was crazy, just in like the pre-pandemic world. Yeah. It's wild to think about. J. Michael Miller, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing this campaign, if you had just a few moments to address them, what would you like to say to him?
It doesn't matter if you don't like weed. The book is more about family and like learning how to heal yourself and be able to slow down and fix things. So if you're running 90-0 all the time, you're gonna have some wear and tear and break down eventually. Things have to get fixed. So that's kind of what Puff Puff Parent is about, is slowing down and learning how to be a better parent, even if you already are a great one.
I feel so insanely called out by that. Like I've been running like 92, like 110, like just like the last like, I don't even remember. Taking that break is essential. Like having that little me time, that little self-care to kind of like reset, everything, reset your body, reset your mind. Awesome comic, awesome interiors. The campaign looks gorgeous too. Like all the the icons and the images for like the rewards and stuff are just phenomenal, Jay. This campaign looks fantastic. You've been on the show before, you know the drill. We always ask for a little bit of advice and then what you're consuming outside of creating. So as someone who's, you've been working hard the last couple months and coming out with different series. For anyone looking to do the same, to spice up their type of genre writings or to venture into new uncharted territory, what would be your biggest piece of advice to them?
My biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to tell the story that you want to tell, and make sure that you write down your ideas. That way you don't forget them. Like go for a walk, and that's where a lot of great ideas will happen. For some reason, you just go on a walk around the neighborhood and like 12 things pop into place that you didn't even know you were worried about.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just able to, you need to trust yourself too, because how many TV shows and movies have we all watched? How many YouTube videos, books? We've consumed every type of genre. We've watched and read different types of medium, so you know what type of story makes a story, so you can probably tell it pretty good too if you just believe in yourself.
Awesome advice. So Jay, what have you been up to? What video games are you playing? Books you're reading? TV shows that you're watching? Have you seen the new Fallout?
I've not seen the new Fallout.
Okie dokie. But what else are you up to, man?
I've been catching up on reading some comics recently. I just caught up on Undiscovered Country. I read Helen of Windhorn. I was like surprised how well I enjoyed that comic. Dawn Runner was pretty good. I ran.
Which, to geekly listeners across there, might be interviewing them for Comic Book Yeti, so just throwing that out there. Very excited. So Jay, I appreciate it. I hope you're having a fantastic 420. Everyone else, I hope you're having a fantastic 420 as well. Be sure to roll it up, light it up, and back this project, right? I think that's another good saying we just coined there. Right, there's the link, hit it up. Be sure to do that. Put it on Twitter, Facebook. Word of mouth costs you absolutely nothing to do. That being said, I need to get ready for a 10-hour shift on this lovely 420. Not so much puff passing for me as work, and slinging pizza. So with that being said, it is time for us to wrap things up. Roll it up. Hope you all have a fantastic day, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.